You know, Rev, Friday was the 68th anniversary of Rosa Parks' arrest, and her peaceful resistance really sparked not only the Montgomery bus boycott, but the civil rights movement, and I dare say the human rights movement that's been global. And so I believe that she deserves her rightful place in American history, and that is to also be honored with a federal holiday. You know, there have not been...
Now, you all just heard that, G. You all just heard that. And I just have to flat out say it, man. I just have to flat out say it. Everything that woman just said was false. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Everything that woman just said was false, man. This has to be told. All right? The false narrative has gone on long enough. Ever since I was a little boy. All right? It's going on long enough. Now, let me lay it to you straight, man. You all heard that lady. All right, giving all the props to Rosa Parks for kickstarting the Montgomery bus boycott. Now, don't get me wrong. Rosa Parks, what she did, it changed the game, no doubt. But it's time folks start showing love and respect to the real person who actually started the Montgomery bus boycott, man. It was not Rosa Parks. All right. Some of you all are going to be offended by this message, but it's the truth, and it has to be told. Claudette Colvin is the one who actually started the Montgomery bus boycott, man, because she was the first one who actually threw the card in the deck when it comes to that. Now, let me explain, because the false narrative, you know, for her to get on TV and just say that like that, and she spoke with so much passion and power, you know, it was heartfelt, and she meant what she said. But the thing is, it was aimed at the wrong person, man. All right. Now, Claudette Colvin, born on September 5th, 1939, was 15 years old when she made history on March 2nd, 1955. She was riding home from high school when a bus driver demanded she give up her seat to a white woman. Yes. All right. Claudette Colvin was not having that. Nah, she stood her ground. She got cuffed up and she faced the consequences for refusing to play by the segregation rules. She was also sexually harassed in the back of the squad car. Okay, 15 years old. Now, this was months before Rosa Parks. I'm going to say it again. This was months before Rosa Parks took her stand. Okay, now, Claudette was the first one in Montgomery, Alabama to say, no, I'm not moving. All right, she threw the first card in the deck when it comes to that. All right, it was Claudette Colvin, man. Now, when Claudette Colvin refused to give up her seat to a white woman on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, months before Rosa Parks, she was arrested, okay? And the NAACP and everybody got together with her family. And they said, you know what? We're going to start a Montgomery bus boycott behind what Claudette Colvin did. But when they discovered that Claudette Colvin was 15 years old and pregnant, they kicked her to the curb. And months up the road, Rosa Parks came. And this is the true story.
Tonight, we honor Claudette Colvin, a civil rights crusader arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a bus in segregated Alabama. Now, this was before Rosa Parks did the same.
Right. For anybody who got an issue with what I'm saying, Google it. Google the name Claudette Colvin and you will see. Go to YouTube. All right. Rosa Parks came into the picture later on December 1st, 1955. Respect to her, no doubt. But let's not act like she was the one who sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, man. She was not. Claudette Colvin was already shaking things up months before Rosa Parks came and took a stand, man. And I'm not saying this to try to take away anything from Rosa Parks, but it's time that we start recognizing the person who actually kicked this off. All right. Now, I'm not throwing shade at Rosa Parks. No, she played a crucial role, no question. But Claudette Colvin, if you're going to give somebody the title like the mother of the civil rights movement, like you all have done Rosa Parks, then that title needs to be given to Claudette Colvin. All right? It's just facts. Her courage set the stage for what came after. Now, tired of folks, man, acting like Claudette Colvin's story is some side note. She's a hero in her own right. Her case, Browder versus Gale, ended bus segregation in Montgomery on December 20th, 1956. Rosa Parks was not on that case. I'm going to say it again. Tired of folks acting like Claudette Colvin's story is some side note. She's a hero in her own right. Her case, Browder versus Gale, ended bus segregation in Montgomery, Alabama on December 20th, 1956. Rosa Parks was not on that case. Yeah, that's right. All right? Claudette's defiance had a direct impact on changing the law. So next time you hear somebody giving credit to where it ain't due, let them know. Claudette Colvin is the unsung hero of the Montgomery bus boycott, man. She laid the groundwork for change, and it's about time that she gets the recognition she deserves. Claudette Colvin's story ain't just a footnote, it's a chapter in history of the struggle for civil rights. Her courage at just 15 years old deserves more than being overshadowed by something that's not true. Claudette is a trailblazer, and it's about time people start to acknowledge what she did, man. All right? Since y'all going to talk about this, you want to talk about the Montgomery bus boycott, you want to talk about these things and civil rights, then talk about it truthfully, okay? Now, I'm not asking, but I'm just demanding, like telling y'all, give Claudette her due respect, man. She's still living. She stood tall when others hesitated. March 2nd, 1955, that's the day she refused to give up her seat. Remember that date. It's not about taking credit away from Rosa Parks. Nah, it's about giving credit where it's due, man. It's about giving credit where it's due, all right? Claudette's defiance wasn't just a one-time thing. It was a catalyst that fueled the fire of change. Now, Rosa Parks' moment came later, and it added fuel to an already lit blaze, man. Claudette Colvin had already stirred that pot up. The NAACP had already met with Claudette Colvin about the Montgomery bus boycott, but they kicked her to the curb because she was 15 and pregnant. So they got rid of her, man. And months up the road, Rosa Parks came. And that's who everybody got behind, man. So, if you're ever watching TV and somebody up there talking about Rosa Parks, what's the sole ignition? Speak up. Educate them on who Claudette Colvin was and her bold move. Her courage at just 15 years old and how she faced the consequences of her stand. Claudette didn't back down, and her story deserves to be told truthfully, man. Seriously. In the streets, the classrooms, and wherever, they want to speak about Black history, etc. When this topic comes up, let them know the real deal. All right? Tell them about Claudette Colvin. And make sure everybody knows it. She wasn't just sitting on that bus. She was standing up against injustice. Her story is a part of the heartbeat of the civil rights movement, and it's time that people know that, man. Okay? In the urban rhythm of history, Claudette Colvin dropped the first verse. All right? And we can't let her contribution be drowned out by other voices that's not true when they speaking. So, to the lady on TV and anyone else spreading false and wrong narratives, all right? Listen up. Claudette Colvin deserves her spot in the limelight, and it's time that y'all give it to her, man. Seriously. The Browder versus Gale case, which ultimately ended bus segregation in Montgomery, Alabama, was also a collective effort involving multiple women. Claudette Colvin was the first, right? But other women came after her. Rosa Parks didn't come until after all of these women. Listen, Aurelia Browder. Now, the case, Browder versus Gale, this is named after Aurelia Browder, okay? Aurelia Browder was one of the four plaintiffs. Browder versus Gale. All right? Browder was a Black woman and a seamstress. All right? And she was the lead plaintiff in the legal challenge against bus segregation. Susie McDonald, another plaintiff in the Browder versus Gale case. Okay? She, along with Aurelia Browder, was part of the legal action against bus segregation. McDonald worked as a domestic servant, I believe. Mary Louise Smith, another Black woman. Okay, another brave woman who took a stand against bus segregation in Montgomery, Alabama. She was only 18 years old when she was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white person on a bus in segregated Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks was not on this case, man. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from her, but why don't y'all start giving credit to where it's due? Why do y'all keep telling this history falsely and overlooking the ones who actually kicked it off? It's time to stop it. We're not having it anymore. We're not having it anymore. Now, Rosa Parks has many awards and many holidays and things like that. Give Claudette Colvin her stuff, man. Peace.
I thought people knew that there were people before Rosa. Her arrest record is what proved it. Because without that arrest record, you would only know of Rosa, because that was staged behind Claudette. Going to the NAACP at 15 years old, and once she got there, they said that a Black girl, unwed, dark-skinned, could not be the face for the Alabama boycott.
News reporters asked me, why didn't I get up? I said, history had me glued to the seat.